Trying to get some more streams, man. That was trying to get some more streams. Wait down and check this out.
Unfortunately, that does end up affecting the way we think, the way we...
I think you have to enable students to use AI in a responsible manner. It's almost like a calculator. It's just another tool.
The calculator doesn't have the potential to create as significant of a consequence in our societies as we've seen AI.
I think I'm a good student, so I don't think social media is messing me up. Like, it just depends on am I interested in what I'm learning or not.
Social media feeds into that gratification, that self-indulgence.
Like, I do other things besides just like give in to like this call to just
sit and focus on something that you would not have thought of yourself.
Interesting. This is gonna be an interesting one. Students and professors. Let's look at the students. The professors. Pretty diverse.
College is no longer worth the cost of tuition.
College is no longer worth the cost of tuition. Agree. It kind of contradicts itself because without my experience in college, I don't think I would have. Well, it's a fact I wouldn't have been the man I am today, and I don't know if I would have gained what I gained in college. And it's not what I've gained like in the textbook or through homework or for a test or for an assignment. It's the experience itself. Me being from Florida but being in Wisconsin for 4.5 years, me being on my own up there, me making the mistakes, and me being adventurous with my careers and with my ways of making money. Just like the whole experience in whole helped me become who I am. But like the education itself, like the schooling, I can't say that I gained some from being in school, certain classes and stuff. So like that question is, I mean, is it worth tuition? Like I owe money right now that I gotta pay off. Is it worth what I gotta pay off? Hell nah, man. Is the experience worth it? Life is itself just an experience, like it's grateful. That's a tough question, bro. That's actually a tough question. What I done gained from this experience. Like, without this experience, son wouldn't even be here. So it's like, life is what you make it. You ain't gotta fake it. Neither you gonna hit the, or you gonna go and take it. Yeah, actually, I mean, it's a tough question. Let me see what they gotta say. That's a tough question, because kinda, yeah. Oh, fuck, I muted that bit. Oh, I pressed M on accident.
I think it's like like the college that I go to, I think it's like a institution that costs a lot of money. And so I think sometimes I regret not pursuing the community college route because of kind of the stigma that society puts on community college, but I think California has a really good way of making it so that all of us can access community college. And so I do think that because of the university I go to, I feel like sometimes it's not worth all the money that I'm putting into it when it comes to like not just tuition, but like room and board, and then all these textbooks that I have to buy, and then the food that I put in my body to function properly at school. I think sometimes it feels like it doesn't reflect the wage that I'm going to get once I graduate.
Yeah, so I go to a very expensive private school, and so I think about that number a lot, you know, especially like the cost per day. And so I think I broke it down once, and it's like, you know, I could buy a new iPhone for every day that I'm here.
Gosh, yes.
That is an insane number to me. And you know, oftentimes I think like education and, you know, information is more public than ever. You know, there's more news articles. It's not necessarily that universities are these, you know, gatekeepers of knowledge as they maybe once were. And so I feel like I think about that a lot. That, you know, I do have access to an alumni network, and that's something that you know, attending school does give you. That you have that shared bond with someone else. You know, I will always have the Trojan family on my side in some regards. But I feel like the education itself, I think about that cost of attendance every single day that I'm at school.
See, sometimes I get answers after I think about it, or even after I hear what other people gotta say sometimes, and that's the thing about perspective that is nice, that when you hear somebody else's perspective, or you just think about other perspectives and stuff, you get more thoughts in your head. You share now a collective conscious with someone else. So with that being said, if you have a figure in your life that you could look up to, someone who's giving you guidance, putting you on game and stuff, then I think college is not worth the cost of tuition. I think college is unnecessary. If so, maybe after you probably get more situated, right after high school, no, I don't think, but maybe after you get situated. But it's not. I don't think it's something that's mandatory at all. And it's not worth what they making you pay, cause for certain things you need to do certain things you do need like certification. So is you really trying to do this? Then it gotta be worth the cost if you're trying to really do it. So yeah, I mean it's worth I guess it is worth it. At the end of the day, we know what it is. And it's different routes you could take. You could really actually take cheap routes, but you have to actually get situated, be able to maneuver. You just can't, like, doing it at 18 is wild, unless you really got, you know what I'm saying, that figure in life.
Yeah.
I agree with you all completely. I took that really non-traditional path, and student loans were the big deterrent for me. And I think there's a lot of other administrative fees, a lot of, well, let's add all these amenities, let's add all these other things that I'm just like, we're just students trying to get some good learning, some critical thinking. Do I think professors, like a lot of that should go to the professor? Yes, because we are bringing in the passion, we're bringing in the facilitation of that knowledge, and also librarians and all these things. And I know there's a lot of administration that is involved behind the scenes. But I think as you're thinking about, well, what will my salary be after this, especially for a lot of fields, it's really hard, especially like first-gen student, or like that's the most amount of money I've ever seen, which is why I'm a big proponent of like take a gap year, figure out some stuff, and then invest that money, get some like financial skills together. Do I also think like the opportunities and the network that you're talking about are so much more vast and different than you cobbling together, which is what I did. I was like, whoa, this is a cheat code. After I got my undergrad, after I got my grad, I was like, oh wow, I hustled for so many years. Yes. Did I learn amazing skills during that time that brought me to other opportunities that if I didn't do that and grad school and undergrad? 100%.
They say
At the end of the day, there's a couple things I want to bring up. First, when it comes to return on investment, we have to really think about how do we define that return. If we think about it only in terms of my value in the labor force, well, my institution, for example, has found that we really do have a really high ROI for our students, but I teach at a community college, which I didn't know there was a stigma. But as soon as you said stigma, we looked at each other like, yes,
full on. My mom is an immigrant. She did not want me to go. She was like, I worked so hard for you to come here. You're going to go to a 4-year institution.
That's so interesting. There is so much more that you gain from going through higher ed pursuits, apart from just your degree. And part of that is learning about work ethic. It's learning about time management. It's learning about how to navigate conversations with people that you might wholeheartedly disagree with. Outside of this classroom, if I gave you that choice, how many of you would sign up for a Jubilee thing? You know, it won't happen. So we would stay within the confines of the birds of a feather effect and all of that. And unfortunately, that does end up affecting the way we think, the way we buy, the way we vote, and all of that. And studies have shown that the more educated you are, the more that gets impacted as well. So if we're just thinking about your value as an employee, I would disagree and say college is still worth it. If we think about your value as a human and your ability to think critically, reflect, engage in discussion, learn how to manage time, learn about yourself as you are a student, and all of that, I still think college is worth it.
You know, people who graduate, it's true, it doesn't guarantee you a well-paying job, doesn't guarantee you employment, doesn't guarantee much of anything, even though studies do support, and these are credible ones, studies do support that it improves the quality of life. And the more education you have, the truer that is. But I do see the drawbacks to it. I think they should be discussed. And again, even though college tuition has gone up, I don't think the quality of education has gone up with it.
No.
And I think that it's fair to say that. It needs to be said. I think people like me who have been out of college for a while, out of graduate school for a while, have to turn around and tell people it's true, this is what's happening. And it's true, it's okay for people to be critical of it. And it's true for us to actually call it what it is. Student loan debt is a terrible thing.
He explained it well.
Families that can't afford to, to have children go to college is another terrible thing. The fact that there should be more grants and scholarships available to people who want to go to school, and federal student loans need to either be forgiven or at least, you know, people should get help paying for them, for God's sake. You know, I mean, all these things, they do need to change. And I think that, you know, I didn't wholeheartedly disagree.
Yeah, I just want to say that I kind of was torn between if I agree or disagree, just because I used to get FAFSA, so my tuition was fully paid for when I was at community college, and half the time at Cal State Long Beach as well. Just this last semester, my FAFSA got cut off, so I've had to pay out of pocket. So my dad has been helping me pay my tuition, and it's kind of like made me sit and be like, is this really worth it? Because like I guess before, when I didn't have to worry about tuition being paid, like it was paid by the state or whatever, it was kind of like a thought that was kind of far away. But now knowing that my dad goes to work every single day and he has to literally pay $4,000 one semester for me to go to school, I just sit with that. And then also there's like small things, right? Like tuition does go up, my professors don't. Their pay doesn't go up. So I wonder like, I just wonder like, where's that money going? Like, are we getting, like, there's a lot of exploitation. I really don't even know. So I think those things make me like wonder. Okay, yes, I do believe that me going to school is gonna open options for me. Like it already has. I already see like the way my life is going because I'm in college. Like I love it. But it's just like
that is real. Cause I was in college, it's just different opportunity, different things. I was in a different type of vibe.
Because they don't have $300 to pay on top of their $4,000 tuition. On top of it's a lot. But I don't think we should get rid of higher education at all. I'm definitely still gonna be in it. I also have learned that I can like not be okay with how the system is, but I can still be in it. Like I'm still gonna go to grad school, things like that. But I can still talk about how I don't think the prices are fair. Because they're not. So we should talk about it, like how we're doing.
That's real. What they good conversation. You know what I'm saying? Good conversation. You don't gotta say too much. But that was valid. All right, let me see what this next one is. Let's see what this next one is.
Fair. Because they're not. So we should talk about it, like how we're doing.
Before our next prompt, we're testing your skills with an AI or human challenge using GPT-0's AI detection tool. How do you guys think you're going to do?
I don't know.
We'll find out.
Here comes your first excerpt of text. Okay, on the count of 3, if you think this was AI generated, you'll hold up your paddle. 3, 2, 1.
I think for me, it comes down into like investigating different pieces of the writing. Like the phrase short circuit sticks out to me as something that I think AI would use a little bit more. And I think the last phrase kind of leads on a little bit. It goes on to a list and then uses, another clause there, like rather than just repeating information. So I feel like it's almost too technical and some of the terminology isn't quite human that I would expect.
Yeah, the irony is it was the last part that gave me my clue. It says to create original ideas rather than just repeating information. That last part kind of was my dead giveaway for picking AI.
That to me sounds like something somebody would say in casual conversations, which is the way that I write. All right, we'll see.
Okay, turns out this was AI generated.
Yes! Oh no, I thought I did. I thought I got it right.
Here's your next one.
I was finna say AI generated too. I'll say this one out loud.
Okay, on the count of 3, if you think this was AI generated, you'll hold up your panel.
This
1,
not.
2, 3. Pick. Michael, you didn't pick.
No.
Tell me why.
So I think what makes me believe this is not AI is there's not an Oxford comma. I think that is a very stylistic choice, and so I think that indicates something human about it. I would say the M dashes threw me off. I think that's something that AI uses a lot, but I'm really banking on that Oxford comma in this one.
I also got bored by the time I got to the first one, and AI usually bores me. AI is making very mechanical writing, and every time a student writes, you can tell that there's more natural pauses, like in their own thought process, whereas AI is just kind of like a stream. And if I find myself losing interest in a paper, I generally think it's AI generated.
It does seem like the sort of statement that any single one of us up here would say. And that's the problem with ChatGPT, is that it takes the identity out of it, and anything that makes us is taken out of it. And
Listen how they talk about it. It would be dead arrow.
Incredibly
I don't know, I
neutral to
just
the
gotta
point of
feel
not
it.
standing for anything
Let me
statement. So I really do hope this was AI generated, because otherwise I just incredibly insulted somebody.
1, 2, 3. A human did write that.
I knew it! Dead arrow, man. I knew they gonna be dead arrow. I'm like that, bro. I'm really like that. When it comes to a shot, I do to the glasses. He want. I'm already knowing, bro. On beat. Cause, like, look. You gotta know a human. You gotta know them dashes. Come on. AI not that. That bit look like it got 2 dashes in that bit. That bit more than just 1 dash. I knew AI wasn't doing it. Look at the day-to-day compared to those dashes. AI didn't do that. That's definitely a human. You could tell that. That what gave it away to me. And then the other dude, he explained it as in, he used the dashes. That was a great pickup. That what really got me. And then he said something else. But then this dude, let me see what he said.
say the M dashes threw me off. I think that's something that AI uses a
See,
lot.
the dashes,
but,
yeah,
I'm
that
really
threw
banking
me
on that
off.
Oxford comma on this one.
And I don't know what the Oxford
I think
comma
that
is.
very but,
He went to it emotionally. He feel like he a good professor. Of course, all professors gonna think that. And he's like, usually when somebody bored, he probably real. He probably got some type of what's the word I'm looking for? Insecure a little bit about people cheating when it comes to his work and stuff. So that's why he coming into it like that. You could tell.
AI is making very mechanical writing, and every time a student writes, you can tell that there's
Let me not say that. Forget what I just said. He real passionate though about AI. He probably don't even agree with AI. Like he don't even like AI. He don't think AI is a good thing. That's what I would assume based off his answers just from this. That's just what I'm assuming. I'm being prejudiced right now, prejudging. That's what I'm doing. I am prejudging. Not in a negative way. That's just what the vibe he could be.
Pauses, like in their own thought process.
And then she just did that wrong because look, she just
kind of like a stream. Yeah. And if I find myself losing interest in a paper, I generally think it's AI generated.
It does seem like
if you lose interest, you think it's AI generated. Nah, this a whole human. See, and that's for accusing people when, bro, I didn't cheat, bro. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. No, I didn't, bro. And then he didn't cheat for real. And then you just started cheating.
Statement that any single one of us up here would say.
She think anybody will say something like that. No, y'all think y'all be thinking y'all smart. That's the thing. Y'all think it's AI. Y'all like, yeah, I'm on AI time. Nah, AI is not. No. Nobody is smarter than the other. It all depends.
And that's the problem with ChatGPT is that it takes the identity out of it, and anything that makes us us is taken out of it, and it's this incredibly neutral to the point of not standing for anything statement. So I really do hope this was AI generated because otherwise I just incredibly insulted somebody.
1, 2, 3. A human did write that.
Yeah.
Were they trying to mimic AI?
Yeah. We are starting to write more like AI because we're seeing it all around us.
This is true too. Right. Yeah. Here's your next one.
A dead arrow again.
You think this is AI generated? Raise your paddle.
Human.
3, 2, 1.
This human.
It seemed to incorporate a lot of information very succinctly and densely. So it just seemed like that whole list thing, like there was actually multiple lists in this one. It was convincing. It actually didn't bore me because it packed so much information into such a short spot. That's my thought, we'll say.
I feel like this is something like along the lines of something I would write, because I love to use a rather to like contrast what I said before, and then like the collaborative, transparent culture, like just these words seem like something I've said or professor said or like my peers, so that's why I think a human wrote this one. Yeah.
Okay, we tricked you a little bit. This is a mix of human and AI. I was doing the 50-50.
Yeah.
Okay.
The use of text that's like both AI and human is increasingly common. I think like when I'm writing a paper, like, I'm reading over for, grammar and, spelling issues, but I think AI, is reading over and can pick up on those things. And so, especially when our grades are, based on, how many, spelling errors you have, I feel like there's an incentive to use AI to catch those little things. And so, I think I definitely submit a little bit more mixed writing just to like review my writing a little bit thoroughly.
That's actually super interesting. In one of my classes, I actually tell the students straight up that they can use AI for purposes like that, where I say, I don't want, I want their ideas to come across. It's a bioethics class, philosophy, and I care a lot more about.
Oh, I was dead arrow myself.
Using an Oxford comma.
Tell his students to use AI.
Vilifying it completely isn't the way to go. We've already opened up Pandora's box.
Yes.
So how can we use this to support our learning goals together?
AI tools like
Valid.
ChatGPT are destroying students' abilities to think for themselves.
Hey,
I don't think that it can be true.
AI tools like ChatGPT destroy the students' ability to think for themselves.
A statement that it's always destroying students' ability to think for themselves. I think if you're using it solely as the basis to like start or to get your ideas, then yes. Like if you're not thinking for yourself at all, you're just like, hey, I have an essay, write it for me, and then you turn that in. You're not thinking at all. So, but I think if like it's using, like for me personally, I'll use it to guide me in a sense, like, or like recently I'm using it to help me like grasp a concept, so then I can like actually write what I'm gonna write. So in that aspect, I think it's like super beneficial, but it can be like detrimental depending on how you use it. Like it's really up to you. Like we're kind of responsible for how we use it, and then the outcome is based on us. So that's how I feel about that.
I would agree with that because I think it is I'm thinking of the slippery slope of everything is bombarding us. We have a lot of inputs right now, and I think everybody's nervous systems are fried. And so let's find a way to summarize something or like put something in there real quick. So I think it's a beneficial tool in that way. However, I think especially after COVID, I've been seeing kind of a decline in these critical thinking skills, and I've been seeing more of a reliance on like emotional responses, even in discussions in class and things like that. So then when we're using ChatGPT to create more of that bias or these echo effects from the algorithm, I'm like, I don't know if this is the best. And I think that what you said about responsibility and like that discernment is key. So how can we start having that discussion about critical thinking with the use of ChatGPT? Right. How can we cultivate responsibility with the use of this really amazing tool?
Right. I don't think it has to be that way. I think maybe because we're in like the beginnings of using ChatGPT that we're kind of like new to, kind of like a baby, like with a toy, like we're just using it for everything right now. And I do think that could be like a slippery slope to us losing our critical thinking skills. And I think about like when I'm in class and I have like my classmates ChatGPTing things that I feel like we could freely speak about, like just from our own dome and just speak about how we feel. And I do think it's limiting critical thinking skills, but I do think it's like a byproduct of the fact that I think the educational system also doesn't encourage us to critically think, just to get a grade.
Let's say from just an instructor, professor's point of view, you want the students to be able to generate information on their own and not depend on technology. I guess, library research is a lost art in many ways. I do think that people's approaches to how we gather information, they've changed a lot. And I think that the more students rely on ChatGPT, the less likely it is that they're actually gleaning information and more likely that they're just getting it from somewhere. It doesn't even need to be fact-checked or anything. It could just be used. And that's probably happening more and more often. So I do think that the ability to not only gather information, but to fact check it, I think that's somehow gotten lost with this ChatGPT thing.
I mean, just to add some hope to like this whole narrative of that we don't go to libraries, which I think is very true. It's like dwindling. But like I'm in a research class right now, and like our professor has like guided us. Like we have to use a library to find our sources. Like we already talked to a librarian that came to our class to like help us. So like it's still very much real. If also I think it's not just like the students' responsibility to like help us, but also professors. Like our professors definitely lay out the rule. Like, hey, you can use AI. It's there. We're not going to deny the fact that it's there. But like don't use it to formulate your ideas. You can use it as a guide to check grammar, to check maybe like an outline, something like that. But like don't go further than that. So I definitely think it does help when the school as well is aware of how AI affects people. So like I said, having us be kind of forced to use libraries, that helps. Like now we have to talk about things. Now we have to go find a librarian. Now we have to really like get into it how we used to have to. So I think that's super beneficial if you look at it like that.
Do you guys think that it's possible to use AI like ethically in school?
It's possible. I think anything can be used ethically. I think if students need to figure out how to format their writing, for instance, in an English class, or if you're trying to get background information that's kind of like a Wikipedia search, then that's suitable. You just are just starting out, and it's possible you're going to end up with a subject matter that you know next to nothing about.
I think the same way we demonize Wikipedia a lot, I think AI can be used in a similar manner where it helps you with the initial like brainstorm by offering you the resources that you can then like look at and read, the same way that like a Wikipedia page has the resources they use. And so I feel like it could be a step towards the critical thinking where maybe you don't have like the access to like go and spend the time taking all the books and all the resources. I do think it's good as like a one-stop shop to lead you to critical thinking.
Those critical thinking skills, we can gather things critically with that support from the university, from our professors. I think creating these expectations at the beginning of class of like, oh, how have you guys been using ChatGPT? Has this been helpful? Has that not been helpful? What can we all agree on together? Because I love creating living syllabi together with students because you guys are there to learn and I'm here to facilitate that learning. So using ChatGPT to organize those brainstorms together, I think is a great starting point. And then I love to have one-on-one conversations with the students, being like, so what have you found out? Okay, how do we put this together? Is that exciting for you? Like, if it's not exciting or it's not bringing curiosity, then what are we even doing, right? Yeah.
How many of you students like to critically think? Right, and that's the experience in my classroom, right? So I think you have, the ones that have spoken already, you've articulated, you don't want it to take away your critical thinking. And in my classes, the students are there, they want to learn how to critically think. And I've actually done some reflective assignments with my students on AI, where they voiced exactly the same kind of things you said. They talk about how they use it as a tool. They talk about the slippery slope. And they realize that if they over-rely on it, it will take that away. And they really do want to preserve that aspect of themselves. That's what they're there to learn. Now, are there some students that just show up and somebody else wants them to be there? Sure, but that's not the majority of students, not the ones I see.
I do believe that with AI, it's a whole new type of digital literacy. And I agree with you that most of the time in my interaction with students, they have a desire to critically think. And they use it more often than not as a tool to facilitate their inquiries. In most ways, AI has helped facilitate the knowledge that they have access to. Now, have I seen it used correctly and incorrectly? Yes. Correctly, I've seen it from the undergraduate level all the way with my peers in the doctoral level, where before they used to teach you all of this really sophisticated software of SPSS and Strata, all of these things, and now I can take all of my survey data, plug it into ChatGPT and say, make me a scatter plot, make me this, and it can spit it out. So knowledge production is so much faster now. However, to the same degree, can someone go into an AI search tool or software?
Let me see what the next topic was, though. College students are alleged in the past generation. This is a good panel. They kind of middle grounding. So usually be the ones filled with drama that be more interesting, more to talk about. This one was more so listening. New mic.